You know, Trump tweeted this today, I believe. Let me pull it up because this is really huge. And I'm just going to read it out. He just said, I'm going to, I'll pull it up, whatever. Let me just pop it on the screen. All right. Trump says, I will veto the defense bill. This is the National Defense Bill in 2013. It was ratified. Okay. And this is the bill that I talked about the other day that had the Smith-Mundt Act squeezed into it, way down in section 1078. All right. The same bill was just snuck in there, which allowed propaganda to be legal in our media. All right. That changed in 2013. And not section 230 is a part of it. So I thought he was going to repeal section 230. Now he's taking a step back and just going to veto the defense bill, which is huge. It's amazing. Yes, please do it. President Trump, I absolutely applaud you for this. This is huge. We need this. You get rid of that, suddenly the media isn't allowed to lie to us anymore. You know they're allowed to lie to us, right? They can literally lie to us. It's legal.
Scorched Earth Trump is the best Trump. This is amazing.
Oh, man.
I love him so much.
I mean, I think he's going to win still. I hold true to thinking he's going to win. I don't hope. I just believe it. I believe he's going to win. Well, I don't think it's over at all.
Well, this is a good transition into that executive order from a couple of years ago, because this is all about to get really, really interesting.
All right. So this is an article. This is from Trent Nas. He's a follower of the show. He might actually be watching right now. He's in my Discord. And he does a really good job. He does he does, what is it? Facts First Network. Okay. And he does articles on different things, and he tries to do a good non-biased way of doing it. So you could check him out. Facts First Network at medium.com and check it out. But I'm gonna check this out because he does a good job of breaking down what's in the president's executive order on election interference. Now, this is talking about the one from 2018. On September 12th, 2018, President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 13848, an order which looks to impose certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States election. What exactly does this mean, and what does the president look to achieve through this order? An executive order opens by expressing worry that United States elections may be undermined or manipulated by foreign persons or entities, stating, quote, the ability of persons located in whole or substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections, including through the unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. Further, along the order states in no uncertain terms that there has been no evidence of foreign interference in the United States elections. But with the increased use of digital devices and internet-based communications, it has created significant vulnerabilities in the voting system. All right, so let's just digest that for a second. Now, what we have just talked about, right, over the past 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. If you haven't, I just want to reiterate and bring in some new things. We now know that China has spent over $6 million in the past 6 months, just 6 months prior to the election, on paying American news outlets money to shove propaganda down our ears and into people's minds. We know that. That is election interference right there. From what I just read, right? Covert distribution of propaganda. It's not even covert because it's legal. They made it legal in 2013 with the National Defense Act, which is interesting that Trump is also talking about that. Okay? So, all right, let's just keep reading because it goes on to explain a little more. Oh, let me just pop that back up. All right. The president declared a national emergency to deal with this threat, which was extended in a White House statement in September 10th, 2020, claiming the threat continues and extending the national emergency for another year. Section 1A of the executive order appears to speak of United States federal agencies coming together with the Director of National Intelligence to compile and file any evidence that a foreign entity may have interfered with an election. going on to say, the assessment shall identify to the maximum extent ascertainable the nature of any foreign interference and any methods employed to execute it, the persons involved, and the foreign government or governments that authorized, directed, sponsored, or supported it, while sections 1b goes into a little more depth onto what's expected in 2 parts. Now, before I read that, what is happening right now? DNI Radcliffe is supposed to come forward. Now, he supposedly said, yes, there's actually interference that I've found. What that is yet, he hasn't brought it forward. It's not, but we've known, he's admitted that there's actually interference from Iran. I wasn't even expecting that. And you guessed it, China. You know who else is talking about China right now? Mike Pompeo. And he's talking about some serious stuff. Like, whoa. I keep saying, like, all right, we got to keep an eye on China. But my goodness, what Mike Pompeo is saying is insane. Let me pop up this. Where is it? Let me see. This is one thing he just said. The Chinese Communist Party wants what we have, and it'll do whatever it takes to get it. This is from the Department of State. That from an hour ago, they just put that out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I mean, I can't find this other thing. Here we go. Let me pop this up on the screen. This is him saying, it's taken this country and indeed the free world a long time to understand the trajectory of China today. And this, he goes on talking about how we're not there, but no one's going to be held accountable. This is not even the important part. Like, it continues. This is a minute long. Let's keep it going, because for a long time, Republicans, hold on, it's going a little too fast. Can you hear that?
Just barely, not really.
Look, he basically breaks it down saying, we thought it would be good to work with them, but it turns out they want to control the world. All right, that's essentially what it is, and they're a threat to us. Now we know we just got hacked. We straight up got hacked. All right. And what is going on? Who's hacking us? We're weak right now. Half of the country thinks that white people are to blame. Every single one of us should apologize, and that they're stoked that the fascist is out of office, when the fascists are literally taking over our system and telling us we're not allowed to think anymore. We're not allowed to go outside our houses anymore because it's for your own safety, and ridiculous. All right. And I think that's actually not even a true statistic. I think the core of Americans, I think 75% of us probably wanted Trump to win. I'm not joking. I believe that. I think he got at least 10 million more votes. And that's what Sidney Powell's saying. All right. Now, I don't have any of those statistics up right now, but it's crazy how I'm going to bring up the that executive order again, because this. So I guess the deadline is tomorrow for the DNI bringing forward this information. Okay. Now they're saying, well, you didn't do it fast enough, even though we have the information and it's true. Well, sorry, according to the rules, you can't do anything about it because it's past the deadline. Sorry, we cheated it, and you didn't do it fast enough. Ha ha.
Well, that's not really true though, because I mean, I was watching Robert Burns and Viva Frey, who, like, if you want to understand like all this stuff, they break it down so clearly. I love Robert Burns is like so like he is on point.
Agreed. And Viva, they're both good.
Oh, they're amazing. And what they've said is that, listen, Monday the 14th, that's like an arbitrary deadline. It doesn't really mean anything until January 6th. So
and it says the conclusion of the election.
Right.
The election's not over yet.
Right.
The day, like, election day happened, but the election isn't over. Like, what is the end of the day? Political semantics. Okay. In this case, it works in our favor because it hasn't ended. No one is the president-elect. Sorry, Joe Biden, you're not the president-elect. All those electors, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. All right. But let me finish reading this article, because it continues here. All right, so this is, while Section 1B goes into a little more depth onto what's expected in 2 parts. Number 1, the extent to which any foreign interference that targeted election infrastructure materially affected the security or integrity of that infrastructure, the tabulation of the votes, and timely transmission of election results. Before I read that second one, what comes to your mind right now?
With
Dominion.
Oh yeah.
The tabulation of votes, the integrity of infrastructure, material infrastructure. What? It's all Dominion. Now we're finding UBS Securities spent $400 million into the Dominion software, and it turns out that's a Chinese company. So they actually do have an investment into Dominion software. How is that not foreign interference? It just keeps stacking up. The more I talk, the more things are coming to my mind. I'm like, yeah, reading through this executive order, it's going to get crazy. All right, this is section 2. If any foreign interference involved activities targeting the infrastructure of or pertaining to a political organization, campaign, or candidate, the extent to which such activities materially affected the security or integrity of that infrastructure, including by unauthorized access to, disclosure, or threatened disclosure of, or altercation or falsification of information or data. All right, I know it's a lot to go over, but now I'm thinking of Fang Fang. All right. The spy that was sleeping with Swalwell and these other mayors. And that's the ones we know about. That's the ones in public, that the public realm now knows about. How many more people did they have access to? How many more? Look at Hunter, for example. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son. Yeah, remember him? Where's Hunter? Hashtag where's Hunter? Yeah. That dude, how many dealings did he have? Now he's doing artwork. Like, what is going on in the world where people are? If you're a Democrat, you can literally get away with anything you want. That's the message they're putting out into the world.
Well,
it's insane.
And here's the thing, and I think it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens with this DNI report. I did hear it was going to be delayed because the intelligence agencies are figuring some stuff out, but I mean, we're like, they're already leaking out like that there has been an interference. So what's Trump going to do now? But I'll say this though, like the Supreme Court has really screwed the pooch on this one because they basically, by abdicating their responsibility in hearing the Texas case, what they've done is incentivize election fraud. They've literally incentivized it because if there are no consequences to cheating, why shouldn't the Republicans cheat?
Exactly.
It's going to become a race to see who can become the best cheater,
Right.
Like, it made me think of and I just did a video about this actually right before the show. I watched the Tour de France. I like the Tour de France. Lance Armstrong cheated to win 7 Tour de France's, right? 7. Now, he's confessed to cheating, but what a lot of people don't understand is that he was not the only one cheating. Everyone was cheating. Everyone. And Lance Armstrong was just the best cheater. And there were no consequences, so they all just kept cheating. And it is the same thing here. If there are no consequences to election fraud, it's just going to be like the Republicans are going to be like, okay, Democrats, well, we're going to be a better cheater than you next time. Then the Democrats are going to come back and do the same thing. And then we're all screwed.
No, it's not going to go that way because this isn't the Democrats that are doing it. It's China. Right. It's China money pushing into our system, trying to take us over. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, man, I am probably going to get canned from YouTube from the stuff that we're talking about today, but this is important. This kind of stuff is like exactly what needs to be the conversation. People need to know how dire this is. This isn't that's why, you see it's like, this isn't about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about freedom versus tyranny. And that is the truth. And the tyranny isn't coming from America. Okay.
It's okay, Adam. You're on Locals, so you have a backup when you get banned from YouTube.
Yeah, I am on Locals. You guys can actually check it out. adamcastirl.locals.com. Come check out and join my community. I am on Twitter, but I don't respond much on Twitter. I am very active on Twitter, but I blast my thoughts and I retweet stuff, but I don't communicate. But on my Locals page, the people especially who subscribe to me on Locals, I engage. I make a point to engage you, so that because you're directly supporting me. So if you come join my Locals community, you can definitely get a little bit more in contact with me. So please come and join my Locals page. And actually, Carlin, you've got one too. You want to shout out your Locals page?
Yeah, I'm kb.locals.com because no one really knows how to spell my name, and that's all right. But no, I do the same thing as Adam. Like, I've really taken a step back from Twitter because it's insane, and I've been doing stuff with my Locals community. Locals is like social media for adults. It's so nice. It's so quiet. There's no crazy people and trolls. And so I definitely join our Locals, and it's a lot of fun. It really is.
It is quite chill. I like it a lot, and shout out to Ori who hooked me up,
Yay, Ori.
and thanks for connecting us, Carlin. That's
Yes.
great.